What is going on, Colorado sports fans? It is your host, Baylor, joined today by my co-host, Alex. How you doing today, bud?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I've got two sporting events tonight at 5 and 7, Avs and Nugs. We got two soccer games on Saturday that we're breaking down in this show. I'm pretty hype. I'm excited for today's show. I'm excited for tonight and Saturday, and ready to hop on in here.
Yes, sir. It's a good time to be a soccer fan. Lots going on right now.
That for sure. What did real quick? I didn't watch or see anything about that Miami game you were watching last night. How'd that go?
That was fun. It was a fun watch.
Miami, Barcelona.
Right, exactly. No, Real Salt Lake had a good run. Honestly, I think Miami's beatable. I was cheering for Miami because we like the Rapids, but there's also guys on Real like Coach Pablo's still over there, so part of me wants them to succeed. It was a great game though, really great, really fun to watch. That Miami team it's very cool to see them out here in the States.
I am super excited, and we will cover plenty of MLS throughout the season and later in the show. But for now, as always, we are starting with the Colorado Bucks, who just had a game on Saturday. Did not go our way, but definitely lots to break down, and that's what we're going to do today. We've brought on we're going to have on a player coach, Josh. He is going to break down some film with us. We're going to pick his brain and try to get as much understanding of what's going on inside of those players' heads as we can. Got anything to add to that, Alex, or should we just kick it off?
We got a lot to talk about for sure. It's going to be very exciting.
Excellent. Then let's welcome him in. How are we doing today, Josh? Thanks you for joining the show.
No, thank you, gentlemen. I'm doing awesome. It was a lovely day outside. I had some field work. I'm glad to make some time for you two.
Well, we are more than excited to be able to spend some time breaking down film with you. It's one of our favorite things to do on this show, and to get an inside perspective is always really fun. I'm gonna go ahead and let Alex kind of start it off because he's got stuff set up for this, and I'll jump in and out here and there.
Josh, first off, we've asked everybody that's come in kind of what your background is and how you found yourself competing for this Bucks team. In your case, you're a player coach, which isn't common across most, professional, teams. So how did you find yourself in this moment with the Bucks?
It comes with just that experience and coaching experience, playing and coaching. My coaching experience started with youth after high school, some outdoor, getting into boys and girls high school coaching, being a bit more of a motivation, more of a energy coach, and developing into more of a tactical and style of play coach. Indoor, if you've ever played with me, played against me, I'm just a coach on the field naturally. I'm talking nonstop as I play, calling switches, calling marks, calling whether to hold the ball up. I'm a verbal player, so that just comes naturally to me. And being that I've played the indoor game for so long, it seemed to be a fit for this inaugural season for the Bucks.
So who brought you in? I mean, how did you hear about the Bucks? How did you know that there was the opportunity?
Good old social media and local friends.
Nice.
Yeah, there's always been some teams in and out for semi-pro and a professional level for Colorado. And I played on a couple of them. But this one I thought is a good opportunity to really test myself at my age. I'm now 41, and I just want to see if I, pardon the pun, but run with the young bucks.
It's a good one. No, yeah, and we see it out there. I mean, you work hard, and you're yelling. You are saying exactly what you just described. So it's great to see. And one of the benefits of this past weekend was the normal stream wasn't done. The camera folks were sick, so they were out. So it was on the Bucks to end up streaming that on. It was on Facebook Live, and I think as a result, we were able to hear a lot more than we normally were. I think that was a good, and we got to see a lot more too because they were up there holding an iPhone. So there's a lot of shots that we got that you just don't tend to see on the normal production. But let me go ahead and pull up that stream. So, kind of want to go over some stuff and just get your kind of behind the scenes input and just tell us a little bit about what was going on with the team, what was going on with you and Coach Cole, anything that you can provide. So, Cleveland comes in, we start the day with a massive delay. I mean, and there's my delay again. That's crazy. So their plane was delayed. They ended up not being able to play us until 9 o'clock. We were supposed to play at 8, and 9 was when we actually got kicked off. So right off the bat, I mean, mentality wise, what was going on with you guys and how were you guys adjusting to that?
A lot of the times that's more of an individual player on how their mental focus develops. So any athlete has probably their routine. Me at my age, I just really have to build up to a good sweat to at kickoff. And for us to really have, or me in particular, to have that warm up, getting loose, and then getting told to sit down for 45 extra minutes, an hour, an extra to wait for a game. I really didn't want to tighten up, but then I didn't want to stay loose that entire time and burn too much energy. So for me, I could only speak for myself and say that I just really had to wind down just for a short period and just minor stretching, minor adjustments, and just staying focused, staying calm. I noticed a lot of players, the young guys, were still out touching a ball, still trying to stay loose mentally, and having fun with that time. Me, I just shut it down for like 20 minutes and then warmed back up. So everybody had their own style to that extension of time.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were trying to look at, how these players came out and, the start that we got. And it was a bit of a slow start, but it was also very low scoring in this game. And I wanted to start, I've got some highlights today. I've got some lowlights. And one player that I want to focus on because he ended up having quite a game is Tomas Tapia here. He's on the ball. And right off the rip, you see him. I mean, he's under pressure, and he kind of gives it away here. Mm-hmm. And then we get an incredible save from Brando, who was just on one in the first half in this game. I mean, that was an incredible show from him. So we were looking at, who's coming out quick, who's ready to play. And, we saw some players ready to go. We saw some players kind of on a slow start. Is there anything that you're doing on the bench to kind of keep them? You said you're an energy coach first. So, how are you trying to ramp that up as we, jump right off the bat and see plays like that, dangerous situations where we got to wake up?
Yeah. I think in the coaching aspect, you've got to be a little sensitive to when yelling on the field or pulling someone's one-on-one when they come subbing off. Because it's not always advantageous to start just yelling at someone when they slip up on the field. Right. Even if it's good criticism, their focus should remain on the field. And in a point like this, in that certain situation, you just, tap them on the shoulder when they come off on that next shift and just let them know or ask them themselves, critique yourself. What could you have done? Let them figure it out themselves, maybe, rather than just you having that influence and just telling them how it should have been. We are always, I try to promote just always stand indoor. It's its own style. And I try to always promote the strength on the ball. And not always passing and playing the ball quick, even though indoors a quick game, to put a foot on top of the ball and accept a double team, accept a foul, accept the challenge of being strong on the ball, rather than giving a 50-50 ball, especially in the middle of the field.
Definitely. I love that philosophy too, because, soccer is a problem solving game, and, you've got to ask those questions, critique yourself. What was the issue and what would you do differently? Keep working out that mental muscle of solving those problems out there.
I do want to jump in real quick on that ability to just step on the ball and kind of accept what the game is going to throw at you and react to it. When y'all played Chicago, leading up to that game, we commented a lot. They play a lot of possession and they take their time moving the ball smartly, and that was something that we talked about a lot, wanting to see, and we saw a lot from you guys in that Chicago game, matching their play style and just slowing it down a little bit. Yes, the transitions need to be fast, and yes, they come back quickly at you, but being able to observe what's going on and take a second and think is something that when I've seen the team do it, it's been really effective, and it seems like that's something y'all have been working on, and it's showing to me at least. When did you have, is that something you've been preaching all season, or is that something that you realized you guys needed to do more of at some point?
Oh, it kind of grows as the season grows. Playing different styles is very important, but getting good as a team at one style to start the season is the process of what we took. Having an identity defensively and offensively from game 1 to game, what is that, 4 with Chicago, there was a big difference. And slowing the game down. Yeah, Chicago does the possession style, and we were learning to match that, but almost play our own way on changing the pace, knowing when to play fast and knowing when to play slow, depending on the score and the time of the match. So in just comparison, that's why this game started out slow.
Yeah.
They are a square kind of pass out of the back team, target forward passing kind of team, hold up play at the top of the arc with a guy that's probably about 260 and a frame that you just can't get around.
Yes.
So we were ready for that. We planned for that. And that's why we had the result that we did, at least in the first half. So now to finish the question, changing the style and developing more different styles to play along, to complement to any opponent.
Talking about patience on the ball, Brando's got an absolute rocket for a shot. And he brings that out from time to time. This was a near, just barely missed it. And we saw a couple of them. I've got another one. I've got another one ready to go. But how do you guys feel about Brando taking those shots?
So I do talk about this to him. So there is that risk reward that we just saw. Something off one post and then something off the other post. So big shots create big rebounds. And this is something that needs to be on frame if he's hitting it. He did just that. In this situation, he put it on frame. The goalie just made a good save. Got a finger on it.
Yeah.
It could have almost been a goal the other way, though. So when he's shooting, he has to be on frame. I want to give him that green light because he has that rocket of a shot, like you said.
Right. My internet's like fully shutting down. It is so difficult to watch these games and also be.
Your camera is crazy,
I
buddy.
know. I'm so delayed right now. All right. Well, I was trying to get a replay of it, but I'll jump ahead. Josh, you've got a moment here where you're on the bench yelling at somebody. The big thing was talking about defense. Let me just, you know what? Hang on. Oh, are we back? Okay, stable. Defense, where's your guy? Where's your mark? It was a conversation I heard on the bench pretty much the whole time. And here, somebody is not on him. I don't know if you're talking to Tomas here, or maybe somebody back here, but you're over here, and I'll turn up the sound so that we can listen to this next sequence here.
Defense. Come on. Defense. Help defense there, Bobby. Your mark is at midfield. He's here, posting up at the top of the arc.
So we lose you there after that because the sound drowns you out. But, help defense was the big word that we were hearing a lot. And then you're talking about, hey, if their guy is at midfield and, top of the arc, tell us a little bit about what you were telling the team there.
It's a bit of a talking point to their style. Like we said, the target forward. That's a perfect spot if you pause there. Now, there's our target. That's their target. A lot of the times we have to have a good matchup there, a strong player that's athletic. Now, this is my talking point for this certain situation. Tomas facing the ball right there. Let's freeze. And his shoulder position at the ball, both shoulders pointing towards the ball. And I'd rather have his feet on the yellow line before that pass occurred. A little bit down lower. That's what I'm considering help defense. In a spot to on the first touch of that target forward, that it has to be tight, or else Tomas is right there. That distance will then make the player play a tight ball and only allow a back pass to the one he was marking. Allow the back pass at all times. And relative to the shoulder position, if he was facing both his player and the ball, then he's not as slow to have a turn and run with him. So I think he's just a step behind on running back with them. And this is something we've been working on the last couple weeks on help defense and body position. So your first step is always instinctive after that pass occurs. So let's go ahead and play. Now you see how they're almost level as they made that run. Mm-hmm. Just in positioning, a good ball with White at the top of the arc, made a pass on that near post, just softly enough, a nice weighted pass to where the wing could have just ran on it, and he's already facing goal. Mm-hmm. This is a dangerous area, and that's what we're working on defensively, but also offensively as a look. And now, because now he had to recover so long, now there's another gap between him. He's still recovering and bouncing back out. Now, this is not just Tomas. This is a lot of us as a team that we could work on. And this is the difference. Those are the differences that we have been finding ourselves as the Bucks in the past couple games. Those are the wins and losses, the foul counts, and time penalties, shootouts, things like that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, this was something I think a little bit of a key here as to, kind of my storyline with Tomas here, because like I said, a bit of a slow start in the first half, but electric in the fourth quarter. So, maybe you can give me some insight into it. We see Tomas, and, there's a couple other moments here where he does get fussed at. He ended up not playing in the third quarter. What was going on there with that decision when he was sitting on the bench that whole time?
Oh, well, I myself was also off, if you noticed. A lot of substitutions occur in the third period.
Okay.
So the third quarter is a time of adjustments, talking points at halftime, and substitutions start rolling in 5 minutes before halftime, and then big time through the third. However, if you know his game like I do, there is a big reward to any risk that we're still learning from goals to being out of position. So he'll earn his spot back on the field because he has that gift of putting it in the back of the net also.
You're right.
So if you noticed right before halftime, we, Cole and myself, felt like he was losing his position for our last goal with 1.2 seconds left.
Yes.
Of the first half.
Yeah.
And we talked again about body position, one eye on the ball, one eye on your player. And if he had that, he was goal side on that backdoor pass.
Got it. We do hear you later, giving him the credit because he does have one eye on the ball, one eye on his player, and we can hear the bench saying, "Hey, that's how you play defense." Which was a great, like I said, there's a little bit of a comeback here for him, and it was really awesome to see. And I'm going to give you another sound bit here. We'll just watch this sequence here because this is all you, Josh.
Meg recovered.
So, I mean, he gets the jump on you, right? But an incredible recovery to get back there and make the tackle. And then a no call. I mean, it's clean. So you stand up and you go shouting. So I'll mute and let, you guys see that again. So what happened there? I mean, you get the no call. What are you saying to the player there?
Oh, he was just asking for a handling or a handball.
Oh, okay.
I had a planted hand in the challenge in the slide, and it's the arm that's on the turf. In the ricochet of the challenge, it bounced up, hit me in the wrist, rolled out in front of me, and he was asking for a handball. So me, as my vocal self, I let him know he was wrong.
Cool. Okay.
As is your right.
Yes,
exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. I'm going to try to reset it this way because when it craps out, I think it's just the connection.
No, if you ever ref indoor soccer or any soccer for over 10 years, you feel you have a grasp on it and a say for what is a foul
Right.
and not a foul.
So that said, there was a little bit of controversy with the refereeing. I'll give you an example here just after. Right, exactly. This one, I think, was one of the worst that we've seen. I mean, we've got issues with it every week, but there's a moment. There's a call coming up here in the next 2 seconds. That looks like all ball to me. I mean, is that not clean? See if I can get a good replay on it. The ref calls this.
Fine for these comments?
I don't have.
We from our vantage point on the bench, it seemed clean to us too. It seemed that way. So the referees maybe have a better angle than us. They saw something we didn't. And to be honest with you, in a foul, you don't necessarily have to have contact.
Mm-hmm.
If the offensive player has to make a movement where they lose balance to avoid contact, that itself could be a foul.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah. There are little things that, especially when we're out there, on the spectator side. And even, me, I've been a ref, I've been a coach. I'm no expert for sure, but there are still moments where I'm like, I feel like I just don't understand the rule here. Like there's got to be something that I'm not quite picking up on.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I walk off the field. I have fans and friends that come up and ask me. I don't understand. I could explain my portion of my view and to my best ability. And you're not alone.
Well, there was one I was going to pull it up, but after reviewing it, there was a denied goal. I wonder if I marked it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
In the second half, let me see because I know we're getting close on time. Let's go ahead and jump to the second half. So it was low scoring. I mean, as far as the story goes here, low scoring, and then the floodgates opened basically. All of a sudden some goals were going in, and the first moment that I had while we're on that subject is this denied goal, which, from the point of view of from the stands, this felt like nonsense. I mean, we could not understand at all. But upon looking at the replay, we realized, oh, you know what? So this Brian Vasquez here making a great run, and then he holds there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's disallowed. It was a late whistle. And so I like the physical play. I don't know if I'm going to disagree with the call, but I just thought it was a late whistle. And that's where, for anybody that's watching that saw that, and was confused by why he just disallowed this goal that looked fine, that was where it came from. We had no explanation on the sideline.
Right.
So what did you guys think on the bench on that one?
Yeah, there was some confusion. As soon as he put his hand on his waist, especially the center of your gravity of your opponent, you can control them a whole lot better. I had a feeling they were going to call it. I just wonder which ref called it. Is it the one that's in the screen, or is it the one that's down the line? Do you know?
It's the one down the line.
Yeah.
So he was getting ready to signal good goal, and way late, the guy that's down here makes the call.
Right. I did have a talk at halftime, so prior to this, with a fourth official on a different call, obviously, one that was also way late. And I just let them know, just have a little criticism on the refereeing. Whether it's a foul or not, know when to bring the advantage back and have a look, and know when to just put the whistle to your lips and just blow it quick.
Yeah.
So positioning on the field, situational play, that's all different. That will save a referee a lot of heartache if they know when to call it quick, when to get their head up, look down the field, see if there's any advantage, or bring it back. Yeah.
And Baylor and I have certainly discussed. I'm familiar with that referee myself, and I know kind of the way he calls games. And a late whistle like that, I wasn't surprised that he's calling it. And so that's, I've got some things to say about it. I won't get into it, but I do wish that there was a little bit better in that area. So I really want to watch this clip here. Ben Guido had an absolutely incredible run for a goal. The situation here is we're down 1-5, and the energy in the stadium is just getting depleted. I mean, especially after that callback, like, we're more worried about the refs than we are cheering on our own players. And Ben comes in here with this incredible momentum, all of this energy, and just puts one in the back of the net. Great play here. That's a new player, right? Taz with the assist.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So great assist from Taz. Great run from Ben. I mean, this was just an electric goal that he's able to find there. And
the control on that touch to receive the ball, which is a little bit in front of him, so he almost, it just gets there, to be able to reach his foot out and control that, not only to prevent it from being stolen, but to put it onto his shooting foot and be able to transition straight into a beautifully placed shot. That was a really high skill play.
You said it best right there. The control to visualize the play before it actually developed is another good key to see it happen. Taz with a beautiful layoff. Maybe it was a little bit long, but Ben, that touch and finish, the composure, not just to put your foot through it and put it over the crossbar, right? Toe poke does the job.
Right.
In that situation, that got it done.
Yep.
No, Ben is one of our experience, our veterans.
Mhm.
He understands the game. He understood the moment. So typically, if you watch Cleveland, their defenders are staying back. They're
Mhm.
not making those plays to not get out of position. But the scoreline needed this play. This scoreline, Ben recognized that, and it's time to go at players now. It's
Yeah.
time to make an impact, and he did just that. And the play was phenomenal, as you described.
So speaking of impact, like we said, third quarter, you and Tomas are off. They're on the bench, and so we see Tomas come in with this reinvigorated energy, and he's going after every ball. So I wanted to. He literally just got on the field just before this, takes a shot, and buries it in the back of the net, and he was fired up. We scored 4 goals in the fourth quarter, and Tomas was involved with 3 of them, 1 goal and 2 assists
Right.
off of it. And so this was something that, a little asleep in the first half, but my goodness, he was on fire in the fourth. So I wanted to show that one. I guess let's jump in on this one because you're involved in this goal here. As Tomas once again takes a shot, it gets deflected, and there you are on the ball. So you take a shot, he gets a rebound shot, then you set up the assist here. As Tomas, it really comes through off of Tomas's foot, but that's a team goal to me, right? I mean, it goes through, and um,
Yeah,
I'll let you
absolutely.
comment on that, and then I'll point out a small detail.
Okay, yeah, right off the bat, Tomas's energy
Mm-hmm.
was exactly what we needed. That level of skill around the goal, that finishing quality is what he brings every game. I actually get to see it all week in training too. It's not just game time that he has 5 or 10 minutes. He does this throughout the game. It is a quality that that he could even take further, and I know his ceiling is still so much higher. We just need to see it more consistently, right? This is a guy that has all the talent. If you look closely, the ball pops up off his foot there as I try to feed him in front of the goal. And he intentionally did that, looking for some kind of volley because he anticipated the pressure on his hip.
Wow.
And the only chance on a good turn would have been a scissor kick there for him.
Wow. That's
the
incredible.
Ball, yeah, honestly. And I got the best seat in the house for it. And so him putting on frame is really an indoor majority of the battle, because with shots that are all 5-6 yards away, do you expect a goalie to keep 2 hands on it?
Exactly.
It's crashing the goal. It's getting shots on frame and crashing the goal in situations like this. And that guy's a game changer, and that's what he did.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Yeah.
Real quick on, chaos in front of the net. I played soccer my whole life. I never went into coaching like Alex, but I take sports at a very analytical, I like to break it down mentally, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge hockey guy, and I see a lot of similarities between this sport and hockey. And one of my favorite things to say in hockey is when you're against a team that might be better than you or has the momentum or is in an advantageous spot, like having a lead in the fourth quarter, putting shots on net, not hoping that original shot, like getting shots for rebounds. You're not shooting to score. You are shooting to cause chaos and trying to take advantage of that chaos. And I see a lot of that when you guys do that, but I also feel like there's a lot of opportunity for more people to be ready for those quick reflex, like you know where the ball's going to bounce. You just got to be ready if it does come to you. I feel like we miss a few opportunities a night on those. Is that something? How do you work on those type of plays?
To back you up on that, I do use a lot of hockey terms in this arena soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Just back checking, forward checking, cycling. Around the boards, possession can be held by cycling. I love it. passes off the boards. Avalanche goal, our second goal to take the lead the other night against the Canucks.
Yes.
It's the wide shot. The goalie's on the ground from a potential shot, and it's just a lace on someone on the post aiding it in. So in that sense, how you practice it is situational play, putting on an environment where you are maybe 2 goals down with 2 minutes left and we're in training and you have to play different. In the first quarter, you're not putting on shots on frame just to put them on frame.
Absolutely.
Because if the opponent doesn't have the ball, they ain't scoring. Working them a little bit. But in this situation, I was begging our team to get traffic. Yep. Let's get some traffic on the goalie, lower vision for him, and framing the goal where you're just making the goal bigger by just standing outside the pipes, right? And aiding the ball along. So this last 6-7 minutes, I was imploring the team just to do just that.
Yeah. Yeah, we could hear it from the sideline. It's not something I'll play out loud because there were certainly some words shared. They rhyme with bucks. It was not something that will.
I'm sure that's what was said. You're just misinterpreting or mishearing.
Yeah. So, final question for you, and this is the big decision of the night. We just got a goal. We're down by 2. We've got 3 minutes left. This was already being prepared before this goal goes in. You could see Brando removing his jersey, but there's a decision here to put Ventura in at goal. What's the advantage to getting a player in there? I mean, I've heard it called as like a 6 attacker. Mm-hmm. I guess so. Tell me a little bit about this decision, and spoiler alert, it backfires. It doesn't go in our favor. But what's the thought as to putting him in there, and what's the advantage you're hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, just being down, taking any risk, any benefit against the risk. His talents is just being strong on the ball, touching in the right spots, making great decisions on the ball. His experience, we felt that Ventura in the attack would give us a hard shot and great decision-making in the attack. And so we sought this to be just the right plan. And you know what? There's a chance of that they're going to score, but it's worth the risk at this point. I just wish the game was a little bit tighter to where we don't ever have to use a 6th attacker.
Right.
But this instant, we had to, put everything on the court.
So help me kind of compare, because in hockey terms, when you pull the goalie, you do have that 6th skater out there, and the net is empty, right? Mm-hmm. In this game, you guys bring those goalies up enough, and they've got good footwork. They can make passes. And we saw Brando can take some great shots. So, where's the difference in that where, hey, Brando can equally come up and play. So,
I'm just going to say that it's the experience on the field.
Okay.
Ventura has that, as we talked, like Cleveland style of being strong on the ball. If he was rushed or doubled because of the situation, I'm fully confident he's going to make the right play on it and just have that edge over maybe a traditional goalie.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you for clearing that up, because from our perspective, we're looking at it and we knew it was close, and then it was an unfortunate shot. I mean, it was a great shot, really, that ended up going in, and he just wasn't able to get back to it. But we see the setup here, and look at that.
Right down the pipes.
Yeah, it just goes in. So unlucky there, right? But overall, a great game. Great fight, right? There's so many times where we thought we were down and out, and we just got right back in it. So that is the biggest thing that we admire about the team, for sure.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Josh, thank you so much. Your insight was incredible. Being able to hear the perspective of a coaching mindset and a player mindset in an actual game setting it's great for us. It's great for the fans who are starting to learn this game, and your knowledge has been incredible. So don't be surprised if we reach out for another interview.
Of course. Hit me up.
All
Thank you,
right,
Josh.
Josh, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time, and have a good day, man.
You
Hey, good
too.
luck this weekend.
Hey, thank you. We'll get it done.
Go
All right.
Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right.
What a guy.
There you go, man. Talk about some info. I don't
Yeah.
think we could have.
It was pretty good.
I mean, that was quite the person to sit down and look at film with for 30 minutes.
It was
So
pretty good. Yeah. So I have plenty more, but the question is, do you want to look at it or do you want to move on?
we need to briefly talk about who they're playing on Saturday.
We do. Yeah.
And then we need to move on to the Rapids. And I don't want to hold any of our lovely viewers from Avalanche or Nuggets that are starting up here at 5 o'clock. So
good to know. Okay.
let's move on to some games coming up on Saturday, starting with the Bucks. Who do we got?
We play the Chicago Mustangs once again. This is
there we
going to
go.
be on
Is
their
the back to
home.
back? Is this the back to back?
It is our doubleheader weekend. Saturday night at 6 o'clock Mountain. Oh, dude, I had that totally off. It says 7 Central on the website, and for some reason that told me 8 o'clock our time. And then
Yes.
the Rapids play at 8:30, so I was like, oh, we'll just double screen this thing. No, we'll have time to watch the whole Bucks game and then watch the Rapids Saturday night. And then the next morning, Sunday at it'll be noon our time, 1 o'clock Central. So noon for us, Sunday, February 25th. 2 games against Chicago. They're a good team. They are in 4th, just behind Grand Rapids. Even though they have more wins than them, they just have Grand Rapids hasn't played enough, so their win percentage is higher. But yeah, they're a solid team. They beat us. We kept it close. You know, they are a beatable team.
Well, that was that overtime loss that we had after that comeback.
Right. Yeah, it was a really great game. Can you not please? The website. Just the website. So Chicago's been having some good games as well. They got an 11-4 W against Lima. They had a doubleheader back in January against Omaha. At home, they lost one, but they won one, and both of them were within 1 goal. They rematched Omaha last weekend while we were playing Cleveland, and they lost 4-6. So they're keeping it close with Omaha. I think that a Chicago doubleheader is really going to inform us how competitive we can be ourselves with Omaha, who currently sit at number 1, 6-1. They've lost 1 game, 1-6. They're having quite a season, just as we expected them to. So Chicago is going to be an interesting one. What do you think?
Definitely. I'm excited for that game. I remember there was some mixed emotions from everybody around the organization about that game and Chicago coming in with a limited bench for that one. So, and I do remember that game getting really emotional towards the end. A lot of on both ends wanted that game bad, and I'm sure that especially for the Bucks, they're going to want to go into Chicago and defend their honor and say, hey, you barely got the better of us last time. Now we're going to show you we're a better team.
Yeah.
How to win, and now we're going to put them away. Because for me, that's the big difference between the team that we saw play Chicago last time and the team that they are now. The team's won some games.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to put away a team. And I think that could be a huge difference, just being able to have that win and not have it in the back of your mind. You haven't won a game yet,
Right.
That pressure is no longer there.
Yeah. I think so. It's also our last opportunity to play Chicago, and so the last 2 games we'll play against them. And we've grown, and that's the thing is like, how are we going to put that growth on display this weekend? And I'll also mention that Cleveland also showed up. They only had like 6 on the bench on Saturday. So that was another one that, maybe it's just part of how the league is, with these East Coast teams coming in, limited bench, limited travel, make do with what you can, with what you can, going to a state like Colorado, it's a tough travel. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to watch both games on stream. You and I will certainly be watching both because
Well, I'll be watching the one on Saturday. I'm gonna be
right Saturday,
mid 8-hour drive on Sunday to Wyoming.
Right.
So
That's what I meant.
I'll have to watch. I'll definitely watch the replay once I'm in Sunday night, and I'll more than likely be listening to it while I'm driving. But
Yeah.
Definitely excited to watch and sit down and watch that Saturday game with you.
Yeah, Saturday. What I was trying to say was that we will be watching 2 games on Saturday night.
Blah.
Because the Rapids are back. The Colorado Rapids
are back.
The MLS is back.
Means?
What? Yeah, you know what? You can just put both on. There's no rules.
There we go. This Rapids season.
Dude, I'm so excited for this. We've got our season ticket membership stuff in. We got our new whatever, it's like a card on our wallet now that it gives us the discounted price at concessions. It's
got a cute little QR code now.
Little QR code in the wallet.
So we don't have to argue with the Dick's Sporting Goods
right.
staff. I am a season ticket member. I have it. It says it on my scarf. Do you want me to show you every single ticket on my phone?
Actually, we don't really see that. Yeah, so no, we've got the QR code, which is great. I mean, they used to give us little badges. It was a little, and I didn't mind that at all. Show up with the badge and be like,
I liked the badge because I was a Avs and Rapid season ticket member back when papers tickets were still a thing. And even when you bought mobile tickets, you'd scan the ticket and they'd print out a tiny little thing with your seat number on it. And it gave you like a physical reminder that you went to that game.
Right.
And when they stopped doing that and I stopped getting tickets, like I have a massive ticket collection from the pre-digital ticket era that we now live in.
Right.
And I liked that little card because at the very least I had that one physical thing that was like, oh, here's my, I don't have my whole season's tickets, but I have at least my one.
Yeah.
And now it's a QR code in my Apple Wallet, and it's a little.
The closest I got with the Rapids was it was the parking passes that you got to put up.
Oh,
it was the whole season,
which is also now just a part of your little digital Apple
you
Wallet.
Just gotta pull up your
flash it to them.
Yeah. And I still have the 2020 year untouched somewhere. It's in a box somewhere. It's the 2020 Rapids season untouched.
I think I got many of those because for the first like 2 or 3 years, I think I didn't drive myself once.
Right.
I had a parking pass and we
Yeah.
just used all of yours. So I had like multiple color, like just books of them untouched.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, speaking of which, the Rapids added another season ticket member lot on the west side G. Lot G is now season ticket members. So we're not relegated to the east side all the time, even though east side works for us. But
it's not even that. It's when the east side fills up and they send you like really far east, like to the back of the parking lot.
Yeah,
it's a pain.
Yeah. Jesus, dude, my fan is crapping out right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's got this constant tick in my ear right now. It's something the fan blade is hitting.
Well, we can't hear it on our end, so
good. So, we play Portland at 8:30 p.m. And we talked a little bit about this. I mean, I don't think there's much to say that we haven't already said. I just saw a canceled game, and that was not. Never mind. Nothing.
I was listening. Armas was on the radio. Was on Altitude Sports Radio yesterday, interviewing with the morning show. He's excited. He sounds like a very excitable dude.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was really interesting was one of the questions they asked him is, for those of you who don't know, Armis has experience over in the EPL, and what you get from what the main question that like was interesting to me that they asked him was, what is Europe's opinion of the MLS? And the big thing that he said was, it is nowhere near as bad as it used to be, which is a step in the right direction.
Right. No, I mean,
But you
it's the
can't,
only way to describe
turn
it.
your nose up when you have Lionel Messi taking the field in America every Saturday.
Right.
You can only turn your nose up so much at our little MLS over here. But that got me thinking about how it might be beneficial to have a coach that has the size of soccer over there is so much bigger, to have somebody that understands that big picture and the real scale that this game can become. I think it's going to be huge in growing the brand, both for the MLS and for the Rapids.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, honestly, the growth of the league overall, the Rapids were kind of behind in that, the last however many years of, we brought in Tim Howard, right? That was a
That
great
was monumental. That was the first $1 million contract in MLS history.
well, good. And then, then DC United, I think really getting Wayne Rooney was the
Rooney.
of like, oh man, like, what can we really do with some of these bigger names?
I think Ibra coming before he was fully done was
Right.
big too.
Yeah. Ibra coming in, but he didn't have much of a career here. It's not like he went on and did, incredible things. That was
What league
one of
did he
those
have
that
a
kind of
career in
missed.
anywhere?
Huh?
He bounced around everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single league he ever played in, he played in it for a few years, said he dominated it, and moved on to the next.
Right.
Because it's not like he retired after the MLS. He went somewhere else. And
Right.
that's why I mean, like, it was big that he came here. That wasn't a retirement for him. It was just another stop in the journey of Ibra.
Yeah. Ibra. And then Messi coming in and this big team and really like the expansion, I think, is what has dominated it, and then the Apple TV deal. Like, this has been the best level of competition that we've seen, and it's only continuing to grow. And I need the Rapids to keep up.
I'm not gonna lie. It's been frustrating to be one of the big frustrations I had about last year is exactly what you're talking about. You look around the league and you see teams like Nashville with this like rowdy ruckus crowd of supporters that love this team that just came out of nowhere. And then you see teams like Miami signing all of Barcelona to their squad. And you see all these other teams like making big splash moves and doing everything they can. And every single bit of work that a team does, bringing in those big players or bringing in their fan base from a semi-pro to a pro team, all of that does work to growing the MLS and specifically their team.
Right.
And I just haven't seen any of that. Like, and everyone always says, oh, well, that's not what the Rapids do. The Rapids don't, go out and get a big fish to get people in the seats. They grow homegrown players. I'm like, that's great, but they also haven't won jack since I've been a fan.
Right.
Like, the biggest, most exciting time of me being a Rapid season ticket member was when we went out and got the big fish. And ironically, that was the best the team was. That was the furthest we ever made it in the playoffs since I've been a season ticket member. So it's frustrating to see the MLS taking all of these massive steps to try to grow the league and all these teams growing their brand in their cities and their surrounding areas. And it just has felt like the Rapids have been stuck in the old ways for years. Like, they don't want the MLS to grow up.
Right.
It's like, guys, this is like, I get it. You want to go with like, this is how the Rapid way. Well, you know what? That worked in the old MLS. We have Lionel Messi in this league, and you're going to play him this year. The Rapid way ain't going to do jack anymore. Get with the times. And that's what I've been seeing a lot of this off season with the wholesale changes, with Armas coming in and doing everything he can to talk to every single media outlet, all of the large signings. We're signing men's national teams players. The social media team for the Rapids has been excellent. I usually don't see anything from them unless they're actually playing, because the algorithm doesn't drop it on my feed whether they're posting or not. Well, you know what? We've been in the off season for months, and all I've been seeing on my feed is stuff about the Rapids. So they're doing things right now. They're growing the brand. They're trying to get more attention, and with the attention comes the money and comes the attention of bigger players. And that's how you do it. And I'm ready. I'm ready for them to join the rest of the league and join this movement.
Is that on
my TED Talk?
Is that on Twitter, X, that you're seeing all the Rapids posts?
Yeah, just social media in general. Like, I would only see posts like during games or like leading up pregame stuff, and I know that's not the only time they were posting, but like they weren't in my algorithm before, and now they're all over the place. And it's not because I'm going out of my way to look up more Rapid stuff than I normally do.
It's good to know. I haven't really been, your social media is different from my social media, and I haven't seen anything on my side of things. But I also, if I wanted to look for
all those signings you were talking about, I didn't go search those out. I stumbled across those on my feeds. Yeah. Like a lot of those I heard of was not even from like ESPN or no official, like it was just social media that I found that stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. I mean, I'll have to check that out and see, because I like to see, what some of those teams, especially, there's some teams that like put out like meme videos and stuff. And I love seeing what those social media teams can do. So I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, well, that's my thoughts on the game. I kind of just ranted a little bit, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, MLS is back. The Champions Cup is in as well, so all the MLS teams are just, full speed ahead. There are a couple of news bits that we should probably mention. We briefly mentioned that there's a referee issue with the MLS as they're kind of on strike. Do you remember that conversation?
I do.
Have you heard anything lately about it?
No.
So it's still going on. The strike is still going on. The MLS does not have its normal referees, but according to the commissioner, they're prepared for that. They are ready to go. They're not worried about it at all. So they're going to continue to what?
I just think back to the replacement ref year in the NFL and how 1 or 2 weeks went by and it was so bad the refs themselves couldn't watch the game be torn apart, and they just like, stop, for the love of God, stop ruining the game, we'll come back. It just makes me laugh at the quality of MLS ref. They think they're so high and mighty that they're like, well, you know what if we don't show up? And it's like, we'll get somebody else.
Yeah, we're spoiled for choice, so it's fine.
You're talking about talent-wise, any college or super high-level high school ref should be able to manage most MLS games.
I mean, I'm not putting that ref from the Bucks in anytime soon. Let me tell you that. If he goes and refs an MLS game, I'm
talking, but I'm saying college, like NCAA level soccer refs should have no problem reffing MLS
for sure. Yeah,
and I'm saying even like the super competitive high end, like soccer, high school soccer tournaments, like the ones that they do, not like state championship tournaments. I'm talking about like the people that go and play on recruited teams on high level, that type of stuff. Yeah. I feel like those refs,
the club
even
level.
then.
Yeah. No. I agree. I think it's. But we'll have to see. Like we're still the game last night was fine.
Thinking about that Colorado Bucks ref trying to catch up with Messi on the field has me dying.
Yeah, dude. We'll have to see. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, the full MLS is back weekend is this weekend, so the real consequences of whatever's going on with this are about to be laid out. We'll see if we really need the other refs or if we're going to be A-okay. The other bit of news was that the Open Cup. We talked about how the Open Cup they were trying to get non-MLS teams, like, oh, let us play our secondary teams. You remember that?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that was denied. There is now an approval for a format where it's not going to feature every MLS team. So not every MLS team is going to compete this year. This is a temporary format. The details of this are not fully fleshed out. This is like a very early round ruling. Once the full article comes out about it, we'll have like actual information on it. But all we know right now is that Open Cup this year is not guaranteed to see every MLS team. I don't know anything
And
more.
they don't know how they're going to decide that yet.
Right. Yeah. The official format, it'll be a 1-year format, and then they'll figure out.
If teams are going to complain about that, I feel like what you could do is you could reward winners of, or like the higher you finish in your league, like if you finish in the top 3 of the MLS or Liga MX, like you don't have to play in the first 3 rounds of the Open Cup because you're clearly good enough. That way you don't
That's how
have to
they do
play
it.
your team until,
They do it that way. Yeah.
then I'm saying push it further.
I don't know how much further you could.
Because then what's the complaint? Because if these teams just straight up don't want to play in the Open Cup, no matter how, even if it's the final, like,
Right.
get rid of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that the Open Cup.
What's the point of it if the highest end teams aren't going to participate?
Right. It benefits everybody below the MLS, and other than that, these professional teams, they've got more on their plate. There's so much more. They've got Leagues Cup now. They've got Champions Cup if they're in that, if they're at the highest level. So I don't know. I think that we'll get a lot more answers as more of this comes out. But personally, I love the Open Cup. I want to see the teams play. I love to see it. It gives us a fresh change, like especially when the Rapids have not been doing well, and then they play some random Colorado team that we just don't see anything else from, and they dominate. If they can dominate them, most of the time we actually lose to that team. But it's like it's a good win. It's a good opportunity to see the team, show that we do actually belong in the MLS. We're just having trouble competing at that level. So I don't know, but when we do get more information, that'll certainly come up.
All right, man. Well, about at the hour mark. Got about 12 minutes until hockey puck drop. Ready to call that one a wrap?
Yep. There's plenty of CONCACAF champions and UEFA champions that is going on right now. But as we said last time, we'll kind of jump into that as we get closer to those second legs of it. We are done with the first legs of UEFA. Second leg coming up soon, and we'll jump into that one on a future show.
Well, if you missed any of the show, we had a fantastic interview with Josh Barerra of the Colorado Bucks. Broke down some game film with him, so make sure you check that out. You can check it out on Facebook or on YouTube at Colorado Sports Connection. Just go ahead and check out those live streams. You can watch the VODs. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. We love bringing this show to you, and we can't wait to talk more next week. So until then, take it easy, guys.